on The Fan. I mean, I actually went back and read this thing that it's the most bizarre thing in the history. He's telling people that I was mean to Leon Heston. I was nice when Bill bought the team. Fair. I was. That I wanted to be the general manager of the team. It's the most ridiculous thing in the history of mankind. First of all, I couldn't take the pay cut. Then or now. I mean, you got to be out of your mind. I mean, I had a full-time job then and now. Same job I've had for 24 years. I would never look for any other job. I mean, it's a loony is the stuff. Loony. John in Sheepshead Bay. What's up, John?
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
What's happening?
I was dying before when you asked that kid in context the Mushnick article because I guess he read it quick. He didn't get it, but it was how you were running the show.
I was running the Jets while I had a full-time job here.
You know what? Listen, you're doing fine over there.
And then the thing was that I did nothing but hammer, and once Bill left, I got along well with the Jets for the most part, except for the West Side Stadium issue. I got along well with Herm Edwards. I got along well with Mangini. I always got along with Tannenbaum. We always got along very well until the last couple of months when this whole thing happened with last January with the Jets, where they pulled all their people from my show, and that's how this whole thing started. I never had a bad relationship with the Jets. I mean, we didn't agree on the West Side Stadium, but that was the only issue we ever had. I got along well with Mangini, well with Herm Edwards. I mean, the idea that I've been killing the Jets for 10 years just isn't accurate. It's not even fair. It's ridiculous.
To be honest, the one thing that Jets fans do wish you were, we'd love to see you talk to Rex.
I understand. Listen, I think it'd be the one interview I had with Rex was a enormously, big interview. That's where he made the Belichick interview, comment in that interview. That's where it all came from. I mean, it came from that interview, and you know what? It would be great to interview him. I'm sorry, they pulled him off they pulled all their guys off the show. I didn't start it. I'm supposed to take it and be happy about it? Sorry. I'm a little feisty than that. Scott in Floral Park. What's up, Scott?
Hi, Mike. Thanks for taking my call.
What's happening?
Listen, earlier in the season, the Buffalo Bills lost.
Hey, Mike, listen, I hate to follow up on this one, but I have to. It's too galling. Phil Mushnick. Again, guys.
I don't ask you to do this. I don't.
Mike, I know you don't.
And I don't. There's no. Don't call names. I don't do that.
Okay,
I don't acknowledge criticism. Okay. I don't get into it. Let me say this. If the idea that I was trying to become the general manager of any
I
team,
wish you would have.
Hey, listen. I'm being honest with you. I've only had one job, or even I've never even considered having another job since I got this one. Not once. Not one time have I ever considered another job. I have been under enormously long contracts my whole life, thank God. I have never been under anything less than a 5-year contract in 20 years. I have never been free to do anything else. I've never wanted to do anything else. I am under a long-term contract now. I have always been under a long-term contract, and I have never, ever thought about doing anything else, ever. And the last time I thought about doing something else was 1989, and that was the year we started together, Dog and I. That's the last time I ever considered doing anything else. So the idea that I was considering ever or was upset that I didn't get a position is crazy. I had a full-time job here. I always have. So but I'm not asking you guys to come to my defense. It's not important. I promise you, please. Vince and Wilton, there is nothing wrong with that, number one, okay? And the idea of there being a conflict is insane. There's no conflict, okay? One time when Bill took that job, there were a lot of, because when Bill was in New England, he and I were very close in those years. And if I went up there, I was basically allowed to go do anything I wanted. I could go into the meetings. I could go into the practices. I could do anything I wanted because the media up there didn't care if I was there. Here, they did not want me to do that because they felt I had an unfair advantage being in this market with the same guys who were covering the team here. So I never did that. Never, from day one. Never went around the team, I never was at a Jet practice all the time he was here. I never was in a meeting room the entire time he was here. Never. On purpose. because it was something that we knew was going to be an issue when he came down to coach the team. When I was in New England, the day that Will McDonough wrote about up there, the story Will wrote, one of his big story he wrote about how he was in the fight with Kraft and Bill, and he was the third guy in the room. What he didn't write was I was sitting in the room watching the Carolina game. When that fight took place, I was there. So Will was telling the truth. He was there. I was there. He didn't write that I was the fourth person in the room. It didn't matter, but I was in the room. So, I mean, in those days, I was there that day when they played Jacksonville. And I was watching the Carolina game in the office when that whole thing occurred. And what Will wrote was true. It was dead true. I was there. Will was there. So, I mean, that's true. I never, ever took that access when Bill came to the Jets because it was going to be an issue right from the start. So I never, ever, ever had any access to the team here, ever. Did I root for them? Absolutely. Absolutely. It was fun. They were building a team. It was fun. I went to some of the games, sat in the stands. Didn't even sit in the press box, sat in the stands if I went to the game. Went to some games. Even went out to the Denver game. Didn't go with the team. I flew on my own to the Denver game with my wife to the Denver game that they lost. I flew to that game. It was a terrible flight, a terrible trip home. Oh, awful. I never flew with the team, ever. Never. Never had anything to do with the team. Never. And never had any designs to be a part of the team, ever. Under any circumstances. Never. I was going to go to work for a team. I was already doing really well. I wasn't going to go to work for a team. I didn't get paid any money. That was never going to happen. God. But this is not, we want to talk football today.